Most people don't understand what it really means to have a champion's mindset. They think it's about talent, luck, being in the right place at the right time, but it's not. Being a champion has nothing to do with talent. It has to do with mindset. It has to do with a way of thinking, of living, of getting up, of suffering, and of resisting when everyone else is already thrown in the towel. Having a champion's mindset means becoming someone who not only withstands pressure, but actively seeks it. Someone who feels more comfortable in chaos than in calm, who performs better under fire than in the shadows. Do you want to know what separates a champion from the rest? While others look for motivation, he looks for results. While others complain about being tired, he trains while exhausted. While others need approval, he only needs purpose. Because a champion doesn't live to be admired, he lives to be effective. He doesn't look for applause, he looks for respect. He doesn't need to show his work because his work speaks for him. But that mindset isn't bought, inherited, or learned from a book. It's forged. It's forged when life hits you again and again and you decide not to quit. It's forged when you wake up at 5 a.m. while everyone else is sleeping. It's forged when you train without desire, when you study without motivation, when you keep moving forward even when you don't see results. It's there, in that silent repetition, where a champion is born. A champion doesn't need to be seen. He needs to be challenged. He needs pressure. He needs discomfort because he understands that pain is not an enemy, it's a teacher. Every failure, every stumble, every rejection trains him. A champion doesn't cry over difficulties. He's grateful for them because he knows that without them there is no growth, no evolution, no respect. While others ask for easy paths, he asks for obstacles because a champion doesn't seek comfort, he seeks mastery. Look, the champion's mindset can be summed up in one sentence. Do it even if it hurts, even if it's hard, even if no one recognizes it. Do it because you know that what you do today separates you from the average. A champion doesn't need prizes to feel valuable. His value comes from work done well, from invisible progress, from the self-respect that comes when you know you gave everything. Do you know the difference between a champion and a dreamer? The dreamer talks about what he's going to do. The champion is already doing it. The dreamer waits for the perfect moment. The champion creates it. The dreamer stops when he fails. The champion analyzes, brushes off the dust, and comes back more dangerous. Because for a champion, failing isn't losing. Failing is part of the process. A champion isn't afraid to repeat, to practice, to polish the same thing 1,000 times until it's perfect. While others get bored, he becomes obsessed. Where others get frustrated, he concentrates. Where others look for instant gratification, he looks for mastery. A champion understands that not everyone is willing to be like him, and that's fine, because what makes a champion great is precisely that he does what almost no one else is willing to do. When a champion fails, he doesn't collapse. He adjusts, analyzes, and returns to the fight. He doesn't say, I can't. He says, I haven't mastered it yet. His mind is programmed to move forward, not to quit. And that mindset is a weapon. When others quit, he continues. When others cry, he thinks. When others stop, he accelerates. That's the difference. A champion lives with a constant sense of urgency. He knows time doesn't repeat itself, that every day without action is a lost day. That's why he doesn't waste energy on useless things. He doesn't talk about what he's going to do. He acts. He doesn't justify himself. He executes. He doesn't get distracted by what doesn't add value because his vision is clear, his mission is sacred, and that makes him feared. A man with purpose is unstoppable. A champion has no time for self-pity. If he loses, he takes responsibility. If he fails, he learns. If he suffers, he turns it into energy. He doesn't seek comfort, he seeks progress. Comfort calms you, but progress changes you. And he didn't come here to calm down. He came to change his life, his story, his destiny. Let me be clear, a champion isn't born, he's built. Every drop of sweat, every hour of work, every difficult decision shapes him. He doesn't have special genetics. He has an unbreakable mindset. And if you want that mindset, you have to be willing to pay the price. There's no other path. You have to master your mind before you master anything else, because a champion doesn't defeat others, he defeats himself. Do you want a champion's mindset? Learn to be alone. Learn to work when no one applauds you. Learn to say no when everyone else says yes. Learn to endure silence, fatigue, doubt. Learn to trust yourself even when the whole world doesn't, because that's the essence of a champion. He doesn't depend on circumstances. He creates them. He doesn't wait for opportunities. He manufactures them. He doesn't look for motivation. He replaces it with discipline. While most people live enslaved by their emotions, the champion lives guided by purpose. He doesn't act based on how he feels. He acts based on what must be done. And that makes him invincible, because feelings change, but the mission doesn't. Ordinary people move by what they like. The champion moves by what makes him grow. Being a champion isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about being the one who's still there when everyone else has left. It's about stepping up when no one else wants to. It's about taking responsibility even when it isn't your fault, because you understand that total control over your life only exists when you stop blaming the world. Look at the great ones, the true champions: Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Novak Djokovic. None of them got there by luck. They all got there because they turned sacrifice into a habit, pain into an ally, and work into their identity. They didn't wait to be motivated. They were motivated by results. Every training session was war. Every day was a mental battle against mediocrity. That's the formula. There's no magic, no shortcuts. A champion trains when he's tired, studies when others rest, works when others get distracted. Not because he's masochist, but because he understands that every second invested in his vision brings him closer to excellence. And excellence isn't improvised, it's trained. That's why a champion doesn't need to say he's a champion. You can see it, you can feel it, you can breathe it in his presence, because his mind radiates confidence, discipline, focus. Where others doubt, he decides. Where others complain, he acts. Where others look for excuses, he looks for results. And he doesn't do it once, he does it every day. That's what separates a champion from the rest. Consistency, not talent, not luck. The ability to stay firm when everyone else gets tired. Anyone can be intense for a week. Few can be disciplined for years. That's the key. A champion's mindset doesn't seek moments of glory. It seeks a life of purpose. So engrave this in your mind. A champion doesn't quit, doesn't get distracted, doesn't justify himself. A champion observes, learns, and executes. He's strategic, patient, lethal. He doesn't shout, boast, or waste time proving himself. His success proves it for him, and when it arrives, it surprises no one, because everyone knew it was only a matter of time. A champion isn't made in a day. He isn't born unstoppable. He doesn't wake up with a mind of iron and fire. He's forged, built, polished with pain, failures, disappointments, sleepless nights, and early mornings of work. Being a champion has nothing to do with luck, talent, or destiny. It has to do with character, with the ability to withstand pressure, to stand firm when everything falls apart, to move forward when everyone else retreats. If you want a champion's mindset, start behaving like one. Don't wait for motivation, create it. Don't wait for results, build them. Don't seek approval, earn it. A champion's mindset is an internal war fought every day. It's getting up when your body screams enough and telling it, I don't care. It's looking in the mirror and not asking permission to be great. The world won't applaud your effort, and you have to keep pushing anyway. Champions don't need recognition. Their hunger is enough. They don't compare themselves. They surpass themselves. They don't ask how much is left. They ask how much more they can endure. They are soldiers of their own purpose, disciplined to the core, focused like snipers, mentally unbreakable. Listen carefully. Most people break under pressure, but a champion uses pressure as fuel. When things get hard, that's when he truly activates. Where others tremble, he smiles. Where others retreat, he advances, because he understands that pain is the price of excellence, that there's no glory without suffering and no victory without sacrifice. Champions don't complain about the path, they master it. They don't look for easy roads, they build impossible ones. And while everyone doubts, they execute. The difference between mediocre and champion isn't opportunity, it's mindset. The mediocre needs ideal conditions to act. The champion acts even when everything is against him. The mediocre dreams, the champion plans. The mediocre wants, the champion does. There's no magic here, only determination. While you're thinking about whether it's worth trying, a champion is already halfway there. A champion's mindset means mastering your mind before mastering any skill, controlling impulses, emotions, excuses, not allowing your mind to sabotage you. The weak mind seeks comfort. The strong mind seeks growth. Comfort is the silent enemy of progress. If you don't understand that, you'll stay stuck living an average life, watching champions conquer the world while you wait for the perfect moment. The real difference between you and a champion is simple. He decided not to quit. He decided to endure pain. He decided to do what had to be done, even when he didn't feel like it. That's the line between those who talk and those who act, between mediocrity and greatness, and there's no crossing it without paying the price. You have to be willing to lose the weak version of yourself. You have to kill comfort, fear, doubt. A champion doesn't negotiate with his emotions, he dominates them. This mindset isn't arrogance. It's a standard so high, it forces you to grow. It's looking at your reflection and saying, it's not enough. Not because you hate yourself, but because you know you can do more. Yes, it's exhausting. Yes, it hurts. Yes, you'll feel like you have nothing left. But every time you get up without strength, you're building something others don't have. Mental toughness. You're becoming someone who doesn't break, who doesn't doubt, who doesn't depend on circumstances to move forward. You're forging your own armor, and that armor isn't made on easy days. When a champion trains, he doesn't train to get a little better. He trains to be the best. He doesn't want to be good. He wants to be feared. He doesn't compete to participate. He competes to dominate. That mindset carries into everything: work, studies, life. He doesn't accept less than excellence. He doesn't look for shortcuts. He looks for impact. He doesn't ask permission. He takes action. That way of thinking makes him different, even lonely, because few understand his rhythm, his hunger, his silence. But that's the key. A champion doesn't need to be understood. He needs results. And when results arrive, the noise dies down. Think about this. While you sleep, someone out there is doing what you said you'd do tomorrow. While you doubt, someone is sacrificing rest to build an advantage. And if that person maintains focus and discipline, he'll be the champion you admire in a few years. Why? Because he didn't wait for ideal conditions. He didn't let laziness control him. He understood time isn't negotiable. A champion doesn't waste hours on distractions, he invests them in purpose. His mindset is ruthless with excuses, intolerant of mediocrity, direct, cold, precise. Every minute counts. Every action adds or subtracts. There's no neutral point. You either advance or retreat. You either get stronger or weaker. You either become a champion or just another face in the crowd. Here's the truth many don't want to hear. Not everyone has what it takes. Not everyone is willing to pay the price. Not everyone can endure pain, loneliness, rejection. But if you can, if you resist, if you stay when everyone else leaves, then the throne awaits you. Champions don't get crowned. They earn their crown with blood, sweat, and focus. A champion doesn't say, I hope I can. He says, I will, or I'll die trying. That's the difference between wishing and conquering, between living like everyone else and standing out like a predator among prey. Decide who you're going to be, because the world won't stop to give you time. The world keeps moving without you. Champions know that. That's why they don't waste time. They don't complain. They don't wait. They get up, train, execute, win. A champion doesn't need motivation. His purpose wakes him before the sun. He doesn't need applause. He demands excellence from himself. He doesn't look for competition. His only rival is yesterday's version of himself. That's the essence. That's the difference. That's the mindset of those born to lead, not follow. Do you want to be one of them? Then stop talking. Stop justifying yourself. Stop wasting time. While you think about it, champions are writing the history you'll read tomorrow. A champion doesn't get distracted by noise, trends, or opinions. He has vision, direction, and he doesn't let go. Even when the world tries to make him doubt, he understands something most don't. Focus is power. Concentration is the deadliest weapon a human being can have. Whoever controls their attention controls their destiny. That's why he doesn't waste energy on what doesn't add value. He doesn't react to provocation gossip, or chaos. He's focused, and his focus cuts like a blade. Most people don't make it because they scatter. They start strong but lose direction. They want everything at once and end up with nothing. The champion chooses his target and never loses sight of it. He's like a sniper, patience, precision, cold blood. He doesn't shoot wildly. He waits, he executes, he hits. That coldness is what separates him from the rest. While others act on impulse, he acts on strategy. He doesn't just work hard, he works smart. Discipline without direction is wasted energy. That's why he plans, measures, observes. His mind is a machine. His body is the tool that executes. There's adaptability, yes, but always with purpose. Every move has intention. Every action has a why. That's the difference between trying and conquering. If you want a champion's mindset, you must learn to be alone. Loneliness doesn't destroy the strong, it builds them. While the weak need company to feel valid, the champion grows in silence. He learns to think for himself, decide without influence, hold course even when no one walks with him. In silence, he sharpens his mind. The mediocre flee silence because they hear their fears. The champion seeks it because that's where he finds himself. And once he finds himself, nothing can stop him. He becomes his own source of energy. He eliminates excuses. He remembers his purpose when his body begs for rest and his mind wants to quit. Obstacles don't stop him. They force him to adapt. That adaptability makes him invincible. The champion doesn't seek comfort. He seeks evolution, and evolution hurts. Pain isn't punishment, it's growth. Excellence isn't achieved when everything goes right, but when you stay firm even when everything goes wrong. Everyone wants results, but few endure the process. Everyone wants glory, no one wants war. The champion loves the war because it forges character. While others run from pain, he faces it. The hard road creates soldiers, the easy road creates victims. A champion knows life owes him nothing. No one is coming to save him. Everything depends on him. If he fails, it's on him. If he wins too, no excuses. Full responsibility. That mindset makes him dangerous. When nothing controls you, nothing can stop you. The champion dominates his demons and uses them. He turns anger into fuel, frustration into energy, wounds into lessons. He loves the process, discipline, commitment. Action comes first. Mindset is built through deeds, not thoughts. He acts every day without applause, knowing success comes from consistency. He doesn't rush results. He knows difference is born in silent persistence. A champion doesn't need things to be easy, just a reason to continue. He can fall 1,000 times and rise stronger every time. Quitting doesn't spare pain. It creates emptiness. Trying hurts, but regret weighs more. So the champion prefers to suffer trying than live regretting. That's how champions are made, with fire, sweat, scars, not motivational quotes. There comes a moment when everything goes silent. No audience, just you and your mind. Will you continue or quit? That answer defines who you are. The weak retreat. Champions grit their teeth and continue. Their mindset is forged in defeat, humiliation, and exhaustion. Anyone can stand strong when things go well. The champion stands strong when everything goes wrong. Fire doesn't destroy him, it tempers him. This isn't ego, it's humility, knowing you can fail and choosing to continue anyway. A champion feels responsible, not superior. He knows his actions impact others. He seeks mastery, not perfection. Improvement becomes obsession. He measures himself only against who he was yesterday. Greatness is built in millimeters. Comfort is poison. It whispers, "You've done enough." The champion crushes that voice. When the mind says stop, the body gives a little more. That's where separation happens. Discipline over motivation. Decision over emotion. Fear isn't the enemy, it's direction. Where there's fear, there's growth. While others run, the champion walks toward it. He plays the long game. Purpose over pleasure. Respect earned through results. His daily war against weakness strengthens him. Vision sustains him when strength fades. He works with what he has. Being a champion isn't a goal, it's a lifestyle. Choosing hard over easy, discipline over laziness, silence over noise. He doesn't need validation. The winner's path looks lonely, but that solitude holds power. When pain peaks, he smiles because that's where others stop and he doesn't. He understands it's not how many times you win, but how many times you refuse to fall. A champion competes only against his potential. His war is internal, and as long as he wins there, he wins outside. Mastering yourself when no one is watching, that's the formula. A champion is built with blows, doubt, silence. This mindset isn't a slogan, it's a way of living, doing what others won't, enduring what others can't, turning pain into drive, failure into lessons, loneliness into strategy. He destroys excuses, he ignores approval, he despises shortcuts, he believes without guarantees, acts without permission, resists without applause. His faith isn't in circumstances, but in his decision never to quit. Failure teaches, inaction kills dreams. So he acts, he falls, he learns, he continues. Comfort is the invisible enemy. That's why he lives uncomfortable. He trains early, works late, learns constantly. Sacrifice transforms him. A champion isn't defined by talent, but by character. Talent opens doors. Character keeps you at the top. He may tremble, bleed, tire, but he doesn't break. Pain is the price, not a weakness. The line between ordinary and champion is mindset. Believing when no one else does. Standing firm when everything burns. That mindset makes you unstoppable. The champion seeks internal mastery, not external recognition. Every victory is honored with gratitude. He never forgets where he came from, but never goes back. His past shaped him. His future guides him. The world owes him nothing, so he acts, he creates, he executes. Dreams without action are fantasies. He lives on results. When he falls, he rises. When he wins, he raises the standard. He's never satisfied. There's always a better version waiting. He conquers, not survives. His greatest victory isn't money or fame. It's knowing he gave everything. That's the champion's mindset. No permission, no excuses, no surrender. In the end, only your character remains. What you did when no one watched. That's what defines you. That's what makes you a champion.